the beat.
I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks, native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun die or die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. UPK undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard, they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all tryna make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, that's what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof. That is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And another blasphemy of them, which they are Jews. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All black Hispanics and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
This is how you make it to the Lord's 57th annual Passover this year in Houston, Texas.
on the 4th of April.
Mind over matter, still trying to purge these. If a nigga at me, I know that all beam around me, niggas finna steam about me. Bitches try to scheme some memes out me. I ain't being loud. Keep it on the dolo. Don't look like my dolo. Like a butler, get that dough, bro. Nigga try me, that's a no-no. Not to palm me like a high five. Park my car and chill. I'm looking at the Philly skyline. Clearly I'm about mine. I feel like it's my time. Demons trying to distract me and knock me right off of my grind. But nigga, I am not crying about shit. If it happened, then it happened. I get past it, I don't trip. Now I'm laughing, I'm just adding to my wisdom. Damn, I'm lit. That's the way you handle it. You gotta be a man and shit. Niggas masking up and I can't slack a bitch. Nope.
ISUPK under Commanding General Yahana presents the official itinerary for the 57th Annual Lord's Passover. Kickoff. Wednesday, April 1st, the lamb slaughter from 11 a.m. Followed by fun and games, basketball, 3-point shootout. Can you hit the target in the archery competition? Then let's gather together ourselves and eat some lamb. Later that night, the dopest podcast, the Round Table of Truth, Cross the Line Radio, and Let a Hebrew Speak. All going down from 8 p.m. Thursday, April 2nd, the annual Kiddies Party. It's all going down at Slick City Action Park from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Followed by Scripture Breakdown class from 7 p.m. with 12 Shield General Mahayim. Friday, April 3rd from 8 p.m. the all-black party. You know how we get down. It's all going down at the BH Ranch, Houston, Texas. Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m. we will be hosting a brunch. Then the moment we've been waiting for all year from 5 p.m. sharp, April 4th, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. Followed by the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Sunday, April 5th from 7 p.m. The Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread goes hand in hand, so don't miss it. Make your reservations, book your flights and hotels now. An entire week of activities for only $200. Go to ISUPK.com, pay your Passover fee now. Shalom.
Okay.
There's a king that's coming back to save our people. Now we should be preparing ourselves for the return of our king, not stuck up in these denominations and religions that's destroying our people and destroying our nation.
So when we are in this kingdom and our brother and sister is doing wickedly in this kingdom, we must tell them, look, the world is expecting you to stay docile, to stay stupid.
That's what Christianity teaches our people. Teaches our people to hate one another and love the oppressor. Like, we'll never forgive one another for anything that another brother or sister do to us, but we'll forgive the oppressor in a heartbeat. There's something wrong with that, man.
Imagine living your life as a whole Christian your whole life, and life's good because you're a Christian and Jesus is white and everything's going great, and there's a landslide and the earth opens up and you go downstairs and you walk through this place and you see a black Jesus, man. Why is Jesus Christ black with an afro in the catacombs, man? This predates the Renaissance period.
So when you read the book of Genesis, the trees in the garden with other nations, a leaf, what are the leaves into a tree? Cover the tree. So Adam took the covering of another nation. What's the covering of another nation? Their culture. So when the Most High saw him, say, yo, Adam, where are you, man? Why are you? Don't mean I can't find you. He was like, who is this nigga? Where are you, man? I don't know you.
Okay. So the Ba al Banya Yasha'ala wa Amarath al-Ham wa Aidya Yahau. The Ba means speak. Al, when it's joined with something, so al Banya means what? Unto, right? Excellent. So al when it's joined with something means unto. Banya means children. Yasha'ala is Israel. So unto the children of Israel.
Like if it's one thing a hoe gonna do, a hoe gonna hold. But you ain't, she can't hold if there's nobody to hold with. And the thing she said at the end, where she said, I went back and I lied to him and he still wouldn't do it. And then she threw up her hands and she said, well, he'll just be a brother. That's what he need.
That's
brothers.
right.
If we have more brothers, hoes like her wouldn't have no outlet.
There was a man in the land of Oz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright.
There you go, the man called Job. I think Job is what, like, afflicted. And that man was perfect and upright, meaning what? You can be perfect, man. Job was a man like everybody else, man. Job wasn't no angel, he didn't come from the heavens. And that man was perfect, meaning what? You can be perfect in the Bible. Being perfect is in the Bible.
Had friends on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith that y'all know Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain above 50. Off my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting foul, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and the nigga be the nicest with a mean flow.
And I'm screaming more fire, more fire. Give them more fire, more fire. I just gotta pray for more fire, more fire. I'm hoping he come with more fire, more fire.
Alright, Shalom Israel, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatam to all the brothers, Yahweh Shema Ayalatan Hashem Yahushua to the sisters. We are the ISUPK, started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. You know what I'm saying? Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, those of the transatlantic slave trade. But according to the Bible, we are the Hebrew Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that, having that knowledge comes with laws, comes with rules, comes with regulations, comes with, you know what I'm saying, things that we need to put off. You know what I'm saying? Put off these other nature's cultures and go, you know what I'm saying, go into our own. You know what I'm saying? Keep things like the Passover, which as you all saw, we're keeping this year on the 4th of April? 4th of April this year in Houston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're at the Passover and not running around painting eggs, you know what I'm saying, celebrating the oppressor's holiday, Easter. You know what I'm saying? Which, of course, as we all know, is pagan. All right. Now, this is the Lashawan Qadash class, all right, which means holy tongue. This is where I teach you how to read, write, and speak biblical Hebrew. All right, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead with the registry. So start with Kayala. Could you state your name and your registry, Baba Kusha?
Kayala, Bath Yahawada, Banya Sha'ala.
No sign of Christ. So Kayala, Bath Yahawada, Banya Sha'ala. So Kayala, the daughter of Judah, which is the son of Israel. No sign of Christ. Also see, as you're coming in the comments, make sure you put your registry in the comments. Let me take a look. I saw a sister earlier, check in, bada bing, bada boom. Sister Rab Kwa, Yahweh Shema Taba Shem Yahushai. Let's put her registry in the comments. Let me get to see her. I can't see her comments on the screen. Hold on. The sister put her registry here. Rab Kwa, Bath Ra'al Ban Yasha'ala. No sign Christ. So Rab Kwa, the daughter of Reuben, the son of Israel. All right. No sign Christ. All right. So as you'll come in, make sure you'll put your registry in the comments. Also, if there's anybody still working on obtaining the Hebrew name, you're doing it 90 days, make sure you fill in this attendance sign-in sheet. All right, it's required to get credit for any ISUPK benefits, including, you know, getting your Hebrew name. All right, so make sure you put that in. Also, if anybody wants to join these classes live, like you see Kayla here today, all you have to do is contact us. You know what I'm saying? Contact ISUPK UK. All right, let us know your name, your zone, and the name of your camp leader. All right, and we can look at getting you in the class. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into tonight's class. So tonight's class is a follow-on from last week, where we're going over like certain phrases, right? We're learning all the things that we've learned about Hebrew grammar, subject pronouns, personal pronouns, possessive adjectives, all the different grammar points and past, present, future, verb tenses, you know what I'm saying, of formulating phrases and sentences to form, you know what I'm saying, certain things we want to learn how to say in Hebrew. All right, so this is a follow-on from that last week's class. All right, so I'm going to start with the Hebrew alphabet. So let me share my screen real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so Kayla, could you, let's see if you can see that. Sharing now. All right, could you read the Hebrew alphabet for me from start to finish? No sign Christ. All right, so as the sister read, so the Hebrew alphabet, again, you read from right to left. So A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and Fa. All right, so that's the Hebrew alphabet. And for anybody, for anybody who may be new to class, all right, this is how you state your registry right here. Why did I move this all the way in this corner? Control Z. All right, so the way you state your registry, you'll say your name in Hebrew. All right, then you'll say ban or bath, all right, depending on whether you're a brother or a sister. So brothers will say ban, meaning son or son of. Sisters will say bath, which means daughter of. Then you'll say your tribe, right, in the Hebrew, whether it be Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so on and so forth, Simeon, you know what I'm saying? You'll say that in the Hebrew. So Yahawada, Banyamin, Lawyer, Shemaiwan, Manashah, whatever your tribe is in Hebrew, Ra'alban, you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. Then you'll say Ban Yasha'ala, right, meaning the son of Israel. So whoever is your tribe is a son of Israel. All right, so you'll say your name. Like for brothers, you say your name, Ban tribe, Ban Yasha'ala. For sisters, you'll say your name, Bath tribe, Ban Yasha'ala. Okay, as per General Kabbalah Math. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the class. So last week, and again, you know what I'm saying, I have all these to always refer to, past, present tense, future tense verbs, and how you formulate those, some common verbs, prepositions, personal pronouns, possessive adjectives, subject pronouns. If there's anything anybody wants to run over during the class, you know what I'm saying, anything that they might not have, it would be good to note down, like the 5 W's and the H, so who, what, where, when, and how, and why. You know what I'm saying, some common phrases, common time frames, common locations. I'll put all those together, so as we're formulating sentences that we will use in sort of everyday speech, we have these words and you know, key things to use to put those together. So the example, like last week, we formulated these phrases. All right, so let's see. We did Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. All right, so that's the Israelite creed, right? Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh Alahayanawa, Yahweh Akkad, right? Then we had from last week, what is your nation? I believe this was a suggestion from the comments, right? What is your nation, or your nationality, right? Which would be Ma Gawa Yaka, right? Which means, it translates to, what is the nation of you, right? Or what is your nation, right? We also have a sort of a variation, right? Who are your people? Which you're basically asking the same question, but you could use a different word. So Gawaya is nation. Sorry, yeah, Gawaya is nation, like a heathen nation. And I'm is the word for people. So you could say Ma I'm Ka or Ma I'm Yaka. This means the same thing. It's like your Maya, right? Which means who, right? Maya I'm Ka or Maya I'm Yaka, which is who are your people. All right. Then you have this phrase, in this school we teach the truth. We had Baba Sapar Hazah, which means in school this, right? Which put together means in this school. Then we have we teach the truth. Anaknawa Lawa Madyam Ha'amath. So that's we teach the truth. All right. Then we have in all our generations, we will serve the Most High. All right. That was a suggestion from Kayla, if I'm remembering correctly. Right. It's Bakal Darwath Yanawa. Right. So in all our generations, Anaknawa Na'ibad Yahweh is we will serve Yahweh, the Most High, right? Lord, the Lord. Then we have another kind of variation of that. So generation after generation, we will serve the Most High. So we have Darium, which is like how we'd say generation after generation, right? And Naknawa Na'ibad Yahweh. So the last part is the same, For we will serve the Most High. We are going to serve the Most High, right? Then we have the brothers in this school are men of war, right? So we have Ha'akyam, Baba Yatsapar, Hazar, right? So Ha'akyam is, of course, the brothers. Then Baba Yatsapar, Hazar is in. So Ba meaning in. Bayatsapar Hazar is this school. So in this school, Anashiam, which is how you'd say men, Ha Malakma, right? So Ha Malakma would be the wall, right? So in this school, or the brothers in this school, there's no Hebrew word for R, so it would just be men of war or men of the wall, right? So Anashiam Ha Malakma, right? Then we have the next phrase. I don't know if I should go through all of these. I know I have the list there, but I think it's useful. I think it's useful for even as I want to take suggestions from the comments of any phrases you want to have translated. It might help to come up with some suggestions as well. I have some prepared as well that we'll go through and we'll translate. All right. We have our children will be righteous, right? To say that, you say Banyanawa or Banyam Nawa, right? Which is our children. And then Ya Tazadakwa, which is will be righteous or going to be righteous. We have our commanding general is a mighty man. I've put that as Ala Wapnawa Matazabya'a, right? Meaning our general commanding, right? So with Hebrew, the adjective goes after the noun, right? So you put the Alawap, which is general. Alawap Nawa is our general. And then Matazabya'a, so our commanding general. Ayash Gabar is like a man of war or a warrior, right? So it's another way of saying mighty as well, Gabar. Okay, and the last one we did last week was we pray to the east. All right, we have that as Anaknawa, Pawalalyam, Al Hakwadam. Right, so Anaknawa is we, Pawalalyam is how you'd say we pray, right? So you need to make it present tense, and it also needs to match how many people we're talking about, right? It needs to match the number, so it's plural. So Pawalalyam, Al Hakwadam just means unto the east. All right, Most High in Christ. So that's what we did last week. The last one we finished on last week was a suggestion from Kayala, which was how to say our daughters are virtuous and pure. So I've put that together now. The way you'd say that. So to say daughters is Banawath, right? So Banawath, I put Banawath Yanawa, which means the daughters of us or our daughters. Okay. Then to say a virtuous, you'd use the word kayal and you'd make it match is feminine and has to match the number who we're talking about. So we're talking about daughters plural, right? So it'd be kayal wath. And then wa tahar. So kayal, of course, meaning virtuous. It could be valor, strength. Like in the context of a brother, it could be like might, strength, skill, virtue, right? In the feminine, which would typically be kayala, right? You just add a ha at the end to make it feminine. It would mean virtuous, the same thing, right? Just in the feminine version. Virtuous, skillful, which is what virtue is. You know what I'm saying? Valor, integrity, that sort of thing, right? Then we have wa tahar wath, right? The word tahar means to be pure, right? So wa means and, tahar is pure, and it also needs to match the gender and number of the subject pronoun we're talking about, our daughters. So tahar wath. Okay, so that's how you say our daughters are virtuous and pure. All right, Most High in Christ. All right, shalom also to I see Nakaf. All right, shalom, Yahweh Shema, Athar Bashim Yahweh Shai. Stated her registry also. Nakath, Bathia Hawada. So you put Bathia Sha'ala, right? So as per I had General Q amend that. So the way you state your registry, you put Bathia Hawada, but then you put Ban Yasha'ala. And that represents, so it would be Nakath, which is your name, Bathia Hawada, the daughter of Judah, but then Judah is the son of Israel, right? So you'd put Nakath, Bathia Hawada, Ban Yasha'ala. Okay. I have Most High in Christ. All right, so let's get to, we have some phrases to translate this week. All right, so the first phrase I've put together is we are the home of the truth. Now I'm going to have Kyla, she's in the class. Kyla, as much as you can, hold on. Could you try and translate this phrase for us? See, we got Ayala in there too. She's coming in. But whenever you're ready, Kyla, you can break that down. All caps. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna see all caps was enough.
God, don't sweat. Habayaf. So the hyphen. Mm-hmm. Carry on. Ha'amath. Okay. Hey, shalom to Ayala. Yahweh Shema Alaftah B'Hashem Yahushai.
Yahweh Shema Alaftah B'Hashem Yahushai.
No sign Christ. As you just come in, could I get you to state your registry, Baba Kushah? Right now, there's a slight amendment on how I may have taught previously how to do it. Right, so I'm gonna show you how the new way to state your registry is. Right, so as your sister, you would say your name. You'd say Bath, your tribe, which would be the tribe of Banyamyan. Then you'd say Ban Yasha'ala. So you'd no longer say Bath Yasha'ala. You'd say name, Bath Banyamyan, Ban Yasha'ala. Okay, and that represents how Benjamin is a son of Israel, right? Not a daughter of Israel. Okay, so how would you state your registry?
Ayala, Bath, Banyamyan, Ban Yasha'ala.
Mosiah Christ. Perfect. All right, well done. All right, so Ayala, Bath Banyamyan, Ban Yasha'ala. Ayala, the daughter of Benjamin, the son of Israel. Okay. Also, I see Marisa, Shalom sis, Lord in Christ. All right, so she put her registry in here too. Marisa, Bath Banyamyan, Ban Yasha'ala. So the Marisa, daughter of Benjamin, son of Israel, Mosiah in Christ. And I see Nakath corrected the registry. So Nakath, Bath Yahawada, Ban Yasha'ala. All right, Mosiah in Christ. All right, so let's get to these phrases. So Kyla just broke down. We have Anaknawa, Habayath, Ha'amath. Okay, Mosiah in Christ. So Anaknawa is we, right? Then we have Habayath is the house, right? The house or the home, right? Then you have Ha'amath, which is the truth. So this is how you say we are the home or the house of the truth. Now you could, if you wanted to, you don't really have to, and I've seen it. Whether you do this or not, we know what you mean. You could add the preposition ma, which would be of or from, right? So you could do Anaknawa, Habayath, Maha Amath, right? We are the house or the home of the truth, but you don't need to do that. It's already kind of implied, right? You could say Anaknawa, so we, the home, the truth, right? So well done. That was perfect, Kyla. Also, shalom to, I see two sisters jumped in. Rawath, shalom sis, and the sister Nazamana, Yahweh Shema Alatan Bahashem Yahushai, per her registry as well. So to Nazamana, there's a correction of how you state your registry, right? You would do your name, so Nazamana, Bath Yahawada, but then you would do Ban Yasha'ala, right? Representing how Judah is the son of Israel. So it's like going back in your lineage. So you do now to state your registry, Nazamana, Bath Yahawada, Ban Yasha'ala. So Nazamana, the daughter of Judah, the son of Israel. Okay. So when you get the chance, you can just put in your notes as well the how to properly state your registry. All right. I had made the error with that. Okay. So the next phrase we have is learn not the ways of the heathen. Right. So we're going to translate this phrase. Now, who knows how we say to learn not? Right? How would we say learn not? Go ahead.
It would be, you say la'ah first, correct?
Yes.
And then I want to say it's like, every time we've done something that's like, learn not, take not, or something like that, do not, it's like, it's la'ah, and then tha, and the word put together, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that tha is like thou, right? It's like thou shall not learn, right? Now you can certainly do that. You can also just put it as lamad, but I think it makes sense to do that. So we'll do the la'ah and then tha, right, which is the preposition, and then lamad, which is to learn, right? So tha, lamad. Now, in terms of, say we're doing you learn, I think we would do this in the I could say like do not or thou shall not work. It always does it as the just I shall. It doesn't make it present tense. So I think that's good to go, right? La'ah, tha, lamad, which is thou shall not learn. Okay. Now, who knows how to say the ways, right? I'm gonna ask Ayala. Do you know how to say the way?
La'ah.
La'ah. Okay. Anyone in the comments as well? Of course, I know Kayla, you may know it, but if you do know it in the comments, put it in the comments. But over to you, Kayla. Ha darakium. Okay. Right. So the word for way or path is darak, as the sister said. Right. So if we look at over here on the right, you can look this up. Right. Darak. This is the word we're looking for. Right. And then you're pluralizing it. Right. So as you said, darak yam. Right. Which is the ways. Right. I want to double check this word. Yeah. Masculine noun. So of course to pluralize it, you do, as you said, darakium. You can even see instances here. Darakium, plural, right? So you're saying ha darakyum, right? Which is the ways. And then how would you say of the heathen? Or, as we discussed earlier, you can just say the heathen. Who knows how we'd say that? Also, shalom to Zapuan, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Barakatah.
So, I was going to say, I remember going over the word heathen, but I forgot. But now I want to say it starts with like God or God.
Okay, so gar is like the word stranger. The word for nation, you'd use the word, the word for heathen is the same word as nation. So it would be gawaya, right? But to pluralize it, it would be gawayam, right? That's how you'd say the heathen or the nations, right? Whenever it's talking about, whenever you see typically the word gawayam, it means nation, but, the children of Israel are typically named, by name Israelites, right? So gawayam would be like the other nations, right? The nations who are down there, for the most part, not even worth mentioning, right? Just don't learn the ways of the nations, because the Most High is talking to and directing and instructing a specific people, right? So hadarakim, and then so how would you say, if Gawaya is nation, how would you say the nations or the heathens?
You said Garwayam or Gawayam?
Gawa, so Gawayam.
Gawayam.
It would just be, so Gawaya is the singular. The plural, no sweat. I might have explained it wrong. The plural would be Gawayam. Okay, no sign of Christ. So to say, learn not the ways of the heathen, la'ah thalamad, which is learn not, or thou shalt learn not. Hadarakim, the ways or the paths, right? The way these people work. and then Hagawayam is the nations or the heathens. Okay, so you can write this phrase down, and this is the Hebrew translation. Okay, matter of fact, let me get a quick to see times where it said learn not, right? Of course, we have this in Jeremiah 10:2. I think that one puts it a little bit different. That one puts it as the ways of the heathen thou shalt not learn. But I want to see if this one, look at this one. It says thou shalt not learn. Where is it? Where's the phrase I was just on? Oh, this one, right. Thou shalt not learn, right? So la'ah thalamad, right? Just as Kayala said, right? So la'ah thalamad is how you'd say thou shalt not learn, right? Or learn not, right? So la'ah thalamad hadarakim hagawiyam. Learn not the ways of the heathens, right? Or the nations, okay? This one, so keep the commandments and live. All right, so we'll go through this one. Okay. Matter of fact, let me give everyone some time to write that down. I may be going too quick. Okay, of course, I'm just saying it. You guys have to write it. So I'm gonna give you all some time to write that down. And when we're ready, we'll move on to translating the next one. Okay. What are we doing?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The word endure. Is that do we see that word in the Old Testament? Like would it be in Hebrew?
Let me see.
Endure or any synonyms?
We can certainly look. Okay, so yeah, able to endure. For how can I endure? Let me look. The Lord shall endure forever. Let's try this one. All right, able to endure. Okay. Let's look for the word here. To endure, regal. Regal typically means like feet or foot, or used in walking. Be able to endure euphemistically. Okay. So that's an option. But that typically, will mean foot or feet. So let's look for some other I guess to enjoy means like to stand, to stay, that sort of thing. In that instance, let me see some other examples. The Lord shall endure forever. The Lord endure. His name shall endure forever. Let's look at this one. Okay. Endure is haya here, which I believe comes from the word. Okay, that's just haya, which is to be or to exist. So his name is and exists forever. Okay, let me see. Endure, I'm sure you mean like in the context of like enduring temptation, enduring, being in the truth, right? So let's do this a different way. Let's go to the lexicon. Let's go exact match. And let's see what option do we have here. So we have yakal, which means to be able. Okay. We have lawan, the night, abide, remain. Okay. Let me look at this one. Lawan. Which one?
The one after this one. It had like a stand up.
I'm mad. That is probably a good one, right? I'm mad, of course, we know means in a simplest form to stand, right? So it can also be, by kind of extension to withstand, right? You can see these translations, to stand against something, right? It has endure as 8 times. Biblical usage: to stand, to remain, to endure, to take one stand. So this is probably the best word we have so far. The rest is in Greek. Okay, let me have a look at this one because this one didn't load yet. Strong's info. So lawan or layan, primitive root meaning to stop overnight. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is like to just like stay over or abide, abide in this place for the night. I think the word we're looking for then is going to be imad. Let me look at also yakal. Yakal is in its simplest form is like the ability to do something, right? Endure twice, to prevail, to overcome, endure, have power, okay? To be able to gain or accomplish, okay. Is in essence like ability, okay? But I think we're looking for, like, in what context, say if you was to put your word, the endure, in a sentence.
I wanted to add a phrase.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be, in this school, our men and women endure to the end.
Okay. So I think we'd be looking at the word stand. Our men and women stand to the end, right? To endure, we stand on what we believe in. You know what I'm saying? So in this school, you said our men and women endure to the, or till the end. To the end, till the end is the same thing. We'd be using I'd. Till the end. Okay. Well, let's hit that one next. I like to do suggestions, Of course, I got phrases and whatever, but if there's any suggestions that come in, those take priority to me. So we make sure we get to them. Okay. So in this school, our men and women endure till the end. Okay. So let's start it off. Kayla, since this is your phrase, how do you think you might say this sentence?
Ba, baya, sapar.
Mm-hmm.
The haza is optional, right? To say this.
Yes. In this instance, I think it would be good to put it. So if you're saying in this school, right? Otherwise, without, it's just like in school or in the school, right? Where we're talking about this school, right? So let's put Hazar. And then do you remember how to say our men or men in general?
Would it be like, men is ayash, right?
Men is ayash. So ayash is like the singular. Typically, where man is pluralized to say men, it's written as anashium, right? Anashium. So I want to actually see if there's an example of how to say our men. I don't think, why? Pause. But not in that context. But I want to see if there's an example of that phrase put together. Okay. It doesn't seem so. So let's look at just the word man. Let me just grab it from any of these. Yeah. I suspect it would just be like Anash Yanawa or Anash Yam Yanawa. Let me actually quickly. We can have both options. You can of course say the men, right? So Anash Yam would be men. Okay, so Ayash Yam Yanawa would be our men. Okay. Hold on one second. So you can carry on. Mm-hmm. Yep. Ka, right? Ha Anashya. Mm-hmm. To say women, I've seen. Let me look this up.
It's a different word from wife, right?
Yeah, wife. So woman is asha. Wife is like a variation of that, ashath. And women is slightly different. It's almost like this, like a similar thing with this word na. You add a nine somewhere. I think it's nashia. hold on, I think it might be Nashim. Let me look up woman, which is going to give me Asha, and then let's find the. So we have Ama, Asha. This is the word for woman, and the variations of that: wife, women, so on and so forth. All right, so let's look at the plural. Okay, so the plural, you have Ashath, which this will typically mean wife. So let me see what's they went in unto her as they go into the lewd woman. Okay, I wouldn't really use that one. I think this is the one I saw, right? Nashia, right? 2 wives. Okay, so in this context, this is like the plural of wife. So that's wives. So let me see if there's one that just uses it as women. Nashia come. Nashiam. Women. Man of woman. Yeah, so you can use Nashim to say women. All right, so that's what we'll use. I've seen on my wife's sake. Yes, this isn't plural. Where's the plural one that was saying the shop? This one. The lewd women. Okay. La Aisha Wath. Yeah, let's use Nashim. Okay, so Anashim wa Nashim. So the men and women. And then we have endure till the end. Okay, so to say also shalom to who we got in Kwamaida, Yahweh Shema Tabashim Yahushai, put a registry in as well. Kwamaida Bat Yahweh Ban Yashala, Mosiah in Christ. All right, good to see you as always, sis. All right, so Baba Yath Sapar Hazah Ha'anashyam Wa Nashyam. All right, so the men and women, or men and women endure till the end. Right, so let's look up this word endure. Let's see if we have it in like the context of like present tense. Right, so let's look here. Okay, for how can I endure to see the evil? Okay, what word is used here? Endure is yakal. Okay, so it's like how am I able? Right, how can I see, right? How can I witness the evil, right? Okay, so that's not the context we're looking for. Let's see this Job one. Endure. Okay, uses quoram, which means to rise. Okay. I'm pretty sure I just want to see like the tense, whether we would just use I'm mad in its basic form, in its perfect form, which typically makes it almost past tense. Whereas if we're making it present tense or present kind of and future, we endure, we're going to endure, you know what I'm saying? I want to see what we do there. Let's see. See to endure forever. What's this one? What does it use? Haya, okay, that's like shall exist forever. Can thine heart endure? Let's see. Okay, ha, ya, I'm mad. Okay. Yeah, so it just does it as I'm mad, right? So that's what we'll do, right? So our men and women endure. Now, the verb also has to match the, like, in again, number and gender as what's being described, right? So if we're talking about men and women, what would we do to I'm mad? I'm Madiam, right? When we talk about men and women, it defaults to the masculine, right? So it would become I'm Madiam. Okay. And then do you know how you'd say until the end?
I think I know how to say forever. Is that the same?
I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, yeah, we could say that.
Unless there's a different word for it. But I have Ilam.
Ilam.
Long
Okay.
duration or forever.
Okay. So to say forever, it would be Iwalam. I'm pretty sure. The word Ilam, Iwalam comes from that. And hold on, that I suppose whenever we're looking at a wa, it could be something that the oppressor added. So I may have said Ilam. So hold on, let me look at this. Let's look at forever. And let me put this through Barbayath, Sapar, all right, Hazar. So in this school, then we have Ha Anashiam, Wa Nashiam, Imadium, and then Iwalam. But we just put Iwalam here. Again, I need to check that word. So let me see. You might do Iwalam. You might pluralize that Iwalam. So let's look up. Did I do forever? Let's look at the word till, or like until. Till the ground. No, that's not a contour. What's the till that comes later? I suppose I should look at like until. All right, so until, from what I recall, would be like I'd. Okay, the word we're looking for is forever. Let's try and do like the until the end. I want to see if we have like a way of saying that. So we have I'd. What would be, how do we say the end? Let's look this up. The end of all flesh, come to pass at the end of 40 days. Let's do to the end, is like to the cause, or for the reason, from the end of the earth, at the end of every 7 years. Let's look at this context. And Quatazar, okay? Let's go into this word. Biblical usage, end of time. Okay. So could we do the if we do I'd Haquatazar, does that work? So I'd Haquatazar. Yep, to the end. Okay. So that works, right? So you do Imadium, and then matter of fact, let me look at the usage. What's this lexicon? Yeah, let's have a look at this to say is this a masculine? A masculine noun. So ma quataza.
What is this looking at? Every maid's turn was come. Okay. Nice. Final punishment. Nice. The time of the end. Okay, so ice is time. Okay. Yeah. So I'd, which is like until. Hold on. All right. So I'd, then Quataza. Okay. So that would be in school this. So in this school, the men and women stand until the end, right? Stand or endure, you know what I'm saying, in that context, stand until the end. Okay, then I suppose we could have another version. So instead of saying I'd Quataza, you could use the word, I suppose I still didn't find it, right? Hold on. Let me find this, maybe if I search ever. Need to find this Ilam or Iwalam. Let me find that word. Let's get to I. So I was a so it's after sa kalamana sa I. This word, here we go. Right, everlasting, evermore, so on and so forth. Right, comes from the word Ilam, as we discussed. I just want to see whether this wa should be here. All right, you can see Iwalam or Ilam, right, which makes me think this this wa is something, 405 times is Ilam, right? Genesis, live forever. Okay, so we're gonna use Ilam, right? So stand. Now let me see if I would use it in the context of like to stand forever. Let me see. Let's look at this version. This scripture in Genesis 3. And look here. So we have live forever as a context, right? So we just uses the preposition la, right? Meaning for. Okay. So that makes sense. So la Ilam. Okay. So you could say the men and women in the school, the men and women stand or endure until the end, or you could say forever, right? So I Quataza is till the end, La Ilam is forever, right? Or for a long period of time, for something that you can't even see in the future, right? La Ilam, right? Forever. Okay. No side cracks. That was an excellent suggestion, Kyla. If anybody has, let me put this on the screen also. If anybody has any words or phrases that they want to have translated, as we just did, let me know. Put it in the comments. Or Yala, if you have any words or phrases you want to know how to say in Hebrew, put it in. Just let me know. I was about to say put it in the comments, but you can just tell me, right? Okay, so that is that phrase done. In the school, our men, or I suppose we change this to the men, right? So let me change this here, select here. So the men and women endure, I could put here like stand / endure, I'm mad. You can say it either way, right? Stand or endure till the end. So let me do this real quick. Okay, to the end, I'm gonna put / forever. Do I need a little bit more space between these? Yeah, / forever, right? And we've put it just like that. Okay. Awesome. All right, so that's that phrase translated. Okay, I'm gonna give you all some time to write down if you haven't already, and then we'll move on to the next phrase. Of course, if anybody has any suggestions, let me know. All right, just say Salakia and go ahead and give me the phrase. Okay. All right, where are we on time? We at 8 o'clock. Okay, we got some time to go through a couple more. Okay, is everybody ready to move on to the next one? Messiah Christ. All right, the next one we have is keep the commandments and live. Okay, who knows how we'd say keep in this context? Like to go ahead. Shamar, right? So shamar is a word which means to watch. It means to guard. It also means to keep, as in to keep, to protect something. And also to keep, as in keep the laws, keep the commandments, keep statutes, right? Whenever you see, if you go into these examples, you refuse to keep my commandments, to see what's used here as an example, to do, right here, shamar, right? To keep, la shamar, right? Commandments, matazawaf, okay? So I suppose that's going to help us in the putting together the phrase. This one's quite a simple one, right? So the word for keep is shamar, okay? So you put shamar, or you could make it like future tense and say like, thou shalt keep the commandments and live. You could do that. Let me see if I went through these phrases before. Let's see, how would I put it? I think I'll just do shamar, and then the commandments. Does anybody know how we say the commandments? Mm-hmm. Hamatazawaf, right? Hamatazawah. That's what you said? Okay. So matazawah is commandment singular. Now, let me look at like this example, right? I want to do like my commandments. I want the commandments. Because wherever it does here, you may keep the commandments. Let me look at this and see how it puts it. Because I believe the plural would be matazawaf, right? So here, this is to keep the commandments, right? So if you're pluralizing it, it would be matazawaf, right? The word for commandment is matazawah. You can see this here, right? Well done. But for pluralizing it, you put matazawaf. Go ahead.
I guess I wrote them backwards. For Tazawah, I had the commandment, and then Tazawah, I had commandments.
Okay.
Two command was Tazawah.
Yeah, you might have had them backwards. So matazawah would be singular. The plural would be matazawaf. Right, you can see that here. This is the singular. This is the plural. The plural would be matazawaf. So shamar. Now, if we wanted to be like super grammatically correct and we would go back, you could use like the word af, which like the word af, it lets you know what the verb applies to. So you could put shamar af hamatazawaf, but we don't need to do that. You don't need to. So but you can. Shamar, the word af, it literally is just used before whatever it is you're talking about, right? To say what the verb applies to. But let's keep things a bit more simple. So shamar ha mataza waf. Keep the commandments and live. Okay, so it's like I'm gonna put this in English. All right, so and is of course wa. All right, does anybody know how we'd say the word live?
So lucky, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it Kaya?
It's Kaya. Well done, right? Like your sister's name, right? So Kaya means to be alive, to live, to be lively, right? So if we're saying the word live, it would be Kaya, right? You can see that. I'll find it here. So you have live as an adjective or alive. If we're saying live as like a verb, you can use this one, right? Kaya. Keep the commandments and live. Now, looking at the usage here, you have like a ha at the end, right? So this is like in the verb sense. Verbs are typically 3-letter words, right? 3 Hebrew characters. So we'll be looking at this kaya. Okay. So bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, to live, to have life, to be quickened, right? So not only alive in the physical sense, but in the spiritual sense. So that's definitely the word we want to get, right? So for this one, I think I want to put it in the context of thou shalt live, right? Keep the commandments and you shall live, right? So you could do it. I think I'm just going to add like if we go to future tense verbs, right? For something you are going to do, right? Why do we do this here? Subject you, in the masculine sense, you would do fa and then whatever the verb is, right? So fa kaya, right? It's you shall live or you will live. If you're talking to a sister, it's pretty much the same thing. The word already ends in a ha anyway. So fa kaya, right? As a matter of fact, it says at the fa at the beginning and at a ya at the end. I think in that instance, you probably just shorten the word kaya, right? But let's just do it in the most basic sense as fa kaya, right? Or I suppose in its most basic sense, you could just put wa kaya, right? Like if I plug that in, let me test that out. Wa kaya. Yeah, keep the commandments and live. So you can definitely do that. Or you could do fa kaya, right? And you will live, right? Either way is fine, right? Matter of fact, let's just keep it to the phrases we've put it, right? So wa kaya. So I think this should be a double A. Okay, shamar hamatazawath wa kaya. Keep the commandments and live, right? Okay, so that's that phrase down. Sorry, Christ. Check the comments if there's anything new in there. All right, we're good. Okay, I'll give you all some time to write that down. I don't know if I should put in brackets like you can do wathakaya. I mean, I explained it verbally, so you can do it that way, or just if you're keeping it to pretty much like how it's written. This is how you'd say that, kind of bar for bar, right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time. Let me know when you're ready to move to the next one. I think we'll get these last two, and then we'll do some vocabulary. Unless anyone has any other phrases they want to add to the list to know how to say in Hebrew.
Salakia, sir. Can there be any phrases?
Yeah, there can be any phrase. Do you have an idea of when you might want translated?
Come.
Okay. What's your suggestion?
In the morning.
In the morning? Okay. No sweat. So the phrase in the morning. So in the morning, and let's do this as priority. Okay. Do you know the Hebrew word for morning?
La'ah.
Okay, no sweat. So I have it, let's see, I have it up here as like a common time frame. So let's look. So morning in Hebrew would be bakwar, right? If I look up morning, should find the Hebrew word bakwar. Okay, and to say in the, we just use prepositions. Okay, bakwar here for morning, morrow, you know what I'm saying, early days, right? Let me click on this word real quick. Bakwar, in the morning, probably the break of dawn, right? Okay, and usage morning 191 times. So this is the word, right? So if morning is bakwar, how would we say in the morning using our prepositions?
Lucky, so would it be ba?
So ba is in, right? Ba means in, on, or with, right? So ba is in. How would we say the? Well, matter of fact, you could probably just do ba bakwar. So ba bakwar is like in morning. I want to see. Let's see. I have the up already. But how would we say the as a preposition?
Huh?
How would we say the as a preposition?
Lucky, so I'm not sure.
Okay, no sweat. Does anybody else know how we say the as a preposition? Like, for example, I'll give you the example of like in the name, right? Do you know how you'd say in the name? Look, it's to a yellow. Do you know how you say in the name?
La.
Okay, no sweat. Kayla, how would you say the? Ha. Okay, ha as a preposition means the. Okay, so say in the morning, baha bakwar, right? That's how you'd say in the morning. Baha bakwar, in the morning. Okay. Well then, that's a good suggestion, Ayala. Okay. Let me look up. So Baha Bakwar in the morning. You could also, I think you could also use just Ba Bakwar, but I think either one. Matter of fact, let me look up the phrase, right? In the morning. And let's see how it's put. I did not spell that wrong. In the morning. Slovakia. I always get the hiccups after class. It's like I eat or drink something right before class. I always get the hiccups or something. I apologize. All right. In the morning. Right. We see this example here. It's just ba bakwar, right? And it's a phrase for in the morning. So you can do it without the ha, right? So the ha is kind of optional. Okay. So let me put it here as like you could do ba bakwar or baha bakwar, right? I think contextually the simpler way would just be ba bakwar, right? But you can stretch it out if you wanted to and put baha bakwar, the same way we do like baha sham, right? Like that, and that's in the name. Okay. All right, so that was a nice and easy one. Let's do the next phrase. All right, the next phrase, we need a black man in every black house. Okay, who wants to have a go at translating this phrase?
Lucky, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
So let's do it part by part. So how would we say we?
like you said? I don't know.
You're not sure? Okay. Kyla, how would we say we? Anaknawa. Okay. So to say we, you'd say anaknawa. Okay. All right. So anaknawa, and then the word to say you need something is pretty much the same. Like you see over here, it's the same as to say you want something, right? It's the word kasar. So kasar means want. It means something you lack. Could be something you. So it basically means to lack something. So it's more by implication. It means something you want, something you need, something you failed because you didn't have this. You know what I'm saying? Or to decrease or to lose somebody, right? If you lack this person is gone, right? So that would be the word for to want or to need. So we're using the root kasar, or kasar, I should say, right? So how would we, the if the subject pronoun, right, which is we, is plural, anaknawa, what would we do to say to kasar to make it both present tense and match the subject pronoun? Mm-hmm. Not add. Okay, so adding nawa at the end. Hold on. Let me look up, because from what I understand, we would do this as like a present tense. I believe adding nawa at the end is like past tense. Now, hold on. We might actually plug this in to see if it. I think we can do it that way, right? So if we just did like kasar nawa, I think that might actually be better than what I was thinking. Kasar nawa, it does kind of make it past tense. So let's make it present tense. Let's make it present tense and have it match the number of people. So we'd be using where's the present tense? We're using this rule, right? So instead of saying kasar, how would we do the verb for need? Mm-hmm. Kawasarium, right? Kawasarium, which means to need or lack or want, right? So kawasarium. Okay, so we need, right? Then how would we say a black man? Mm-hmm.
Would it be Ayash, Shakima, or it would be man and then black, or black and then man?
It would be man and then black, right? So black would be the adjective, right? So Ayash, and then the word for black is so Shakawar, right? Shakawar. Matter of fact, let me quickly look this up, because again, I always get a little funny with these Y's. Why can be a funny one with these words, because we know what the oppressor did to our language, right? So let me see. We have kashak, which could be dark. We have, what I'm looking for is right here, shakar. All right, shakar meaning black. So I think we could just do shakar. Why does it do it as Let me see. How many times does this mean black? Comes from, okay, so shakar or shakawar comes from this word shakar, which means dawn, right? The dawn time, it's dark. So I think in this instance, we'd just be using, we just use shakar. Okay, so take away this wa. All right, a yash shakar. Right, not to be confused with yash shakar, but a yash, which is man, shakar, which is black. So black man. Okay. And then how would we say in every? Bakal, right? So bakal, so ba meaning in. I'll put that one away. Ba is in, and then cow is all or every. Everything of this category we're about to describe. Okay. And how would we say black house? I want to see this example as well for black shakawara. But the root, if I go into this shakar, and it's not like a present, it's not a present tense thing, it's an adjective. So yeah, we can just do shakar, right? Shakar meaning black. Shakar yum. I want to have a look at this as well, because this might be obviously if we're talking about multiple houses, we may need to pluralize the adjective to say every black house, right? I just want to see where was the, hold on, what verse we were looking at. Black horses. Where's the lexicon? Hold on, Slakia. Masculine plural, Zechariah 6:2. Chariot, black horses. Okay. So looking here. And yeah, Shakaria. Right? So, but I think because we're not doing like in every black houses, the word for house would be almost put in its singular form, right? So I think we could just do it as the singular for both. All right, so how would we do that? You could tell me. Bayath Shakar, exactly, right? Bayath Shakar, right? So we have Anaknawa Kawasarium, which is we want or we need, we are lacking. A Yash Shakar, a black man. Bakal in every, Bayath Shakar, black house. So we need a black man in every black house or in all black houses, right? No sign Christ. Well done. All right, this last one, I think we'll get this last one down unless anyone has any suggestions. This is a suggestion that comes from Kayla as well. All right, so we have, oh, go ahead.
I think I had like one or two more.
Okay, what are your suggestions?
I have come into this school and change your ways.
Into this school and change your ways.
Something like that. I was going to say maybe when you come into this school or something like that. But that's what I came up with.
Okay, when you come into this school.
I was going to say like you must or something like that. But
I like that. You must. You could do change your ways, or you could do like change your life. How would you prefer to do it? Life. Okay. You must change your life. Okay. And what's your other phrase?
I have the children of Israel will have heaven on earth.
Okay. The children. That's a good one. Children of Israel will have heaven on earth. Okay, so let's do this one first. The children of Israel will have heaven on earth. So I'm gonna look this up as like to have. The word for have. Let me do exact match. Okay, so how do we say the children of Israel? Mm-hmm.
It's just Banya Lashawan.
You could do ha. So like ha, Banya, Yashala. Yeah, either one is fine. Habanya or Habanyam is the plural. Yep, Habanyam, Yashala. And then let's find the word for to have. Okay. Is be have. Okay, yash. Yash is similar to the word haya. It means to exist, right? So I don't think that's exactly the one we need. To have malak. Malak means to have. Hold on. See how many times this is used to eat salt. Okay. There's a slightly different context. This specifically to eat salt. No, okay. Interested to know we have a good to know we have a word for that, specifically to eat salt. Let me see. Possess is a good one. Inherit, I think that might be that seems to me like the word we're looking for, right? Inherit, inheritance, to possess, to inherit, to occupy. I like this one. Inherit, inheritance, and this is a verb, right? Yeah, verb. To get possession, to acquire. This is the one. Okay, so nahal. Now we're doing the children of Israel, and it's plural. So in this context, you could say, what's the rule? Let me look at the rules for like future tense. For we, okay, so we would do, you add na at the beginning. So like na nahal. For they, you add ya at the beginning and wa at the end. I think in this context, I mean, we are the children of Israel. We're talking about us. So we'd likely use the one for we, right? So the children of Israel, and let me plug this in here. So like Habanya Yashala. The verb is nahal, so it would be like na nahal. Will inherit. The rest of the phrase is what? Heaven on earth. So heaven is what? I'm asking anybody.
Oh, sorry.
Shemayim, right? Correct. All right. So it's giving me is nahal. As to lead. Let me see. Have, possess. No, how to get or take his possession. Nahal. See this instance. Notice time the land shall be divided according to the tribe, and they shall inherit. I wonder if we use Yanahal in this instance. Let me just take a look. when I put that in, it comes back as the children of Israel will rule. It's like it will rule over the heavens on earth. Okay. So you could probably use either. You could say, you could use the one for they. You could use the one for we. Or could we just use Nahal? Nah, we needed future tense. Nahal would just be present tense. So what if we do Ya Nahawa? What does that look like? Yeah, will rule over heaven on earth. So it's like will inherit. Let's do that one. All right. So we'll look at the one for like to say they, right? The children of Israel. To be fair, if we're saying the children of Israel, we're using it in like a third person context, right? The children of Israel. It's not, obvious in that instance that we're saying us, right? But the children of Israel, it's like they will have heaven on earth. So we'll use the way we do future tense with like they in that context is we do ya, then the verb, and then wa. So yana halwa, okay? Which means they will take possession, they will get, they will acquire, they will inherit, all right? And then the rest is heaven on earth. So as we said, was heaven was shemayim, right? And then how would you say on earth? Ba aratazah, exactly, right? So ba means in, on, or with. In this context, of course, we know we're talking about on, right? So ba aratazah. Okay, all right, perfect, right? So habanyam yasha'ala yana halwa shamat. Matter of fact, bold these to show this is what we did to the verb to make it future tense, right? Yana halwa shamayim ba'aratazah, right? The children of Israel will inherit, will acquire, will get as a possession heaven on earth. All right, that's an excellent phrase. I like that one a lot. Okay, let's do which ones? These are all your suggestions, Kyla. So which one do you want to go through next? Okay, so Israelite women, right? I want to know if there's a particular different way to do Israelite in a feminine context. Let me see. Israelite, right? So another word is of Israelite is like you basically add ya, right? Ya at the end. So yasha ala ya. Okay, I see. Hold on. This word said Israelite test. So would that be like the female version? Let me see. Yeah, female descendant of Jezreel. Okay, of Israel. Yeah, from Yasha'ala, which is Israel. So I don't know why it's okay. That's just what they do, huh? Okay, so for a general descendant of Israel, you use Yasha'ala Yah. If you're talking about a woman, so an Israelitess, right? The Israelite women, you use Yasha'ala Yath. Okay, so let's see, feminine of that. Okay, so if we say, so if we do this in the context of Israelite women, let me see if there's a precedent for that. So ha Yasha'ala Yath, right? So the Israelitish woman. Okay, interesting. Hold on. I wonder if it's like already, like if we need to include the word for woman or if it's already basically included. That's what I'm looking for. Bear with me a second. This is for Israelitish woman's son. Adjective. Let's look at this in the as the reference. Israelitish woman here. Okay, so it says ban. Yeah, so it puts the word for Asha or woman, right? The woman, there was a descendant of Israel. Okay, so we would do, if we're saying just Israelite women, we're using the plural for woman. So what's the plural for woman to say women? Mm-hmm. Anashim would be men. It's very similar. Mm-hmm. Nashium, right? So Nashium, and then we would just plug in, I think, Yashar al Yath. And that's the Israelite woman. Yep. All right. Or Israelite women, I should say. So, not Nashium, right? Nashium. Let's put a little dash. And then Yashar Alayath. All right. Yashar Alayath. So this is Israelite women, right? And then the word for need. So again, we would use the same word kasar, right? Now, how would we do, if we're looking at the present tense, we're using the word kasar, but we're using it's like the feminine, and we're saying they, right? They need their husbands. Okay, so let me bring this up. All right, so they and the feminine, you just add, so you add the wa and you add wath, right? So kasar becomes what? Mm-hmm. So ka, you still add the wa. Kawasarwath. So kawasarwath. Okay, so that is they need. Okay, and then husbands, you would do. You could say the same thing as like, they need their men, right? Or you could even substitute it for their Lord, their Adawan, right? Whichever word you want to put in here. If you're saying husbands, you just put it as anashium. So it'd be like anash. Hold on. Well, the woman would only have one husband, right? So you do it in a way where it's like, matter of fact, hold on. Would you do anash yahan? Hold on. Let me put in the kasar or kawasar wath. Anash, you do like Anash Yahan. Let me see. Yeah, you do Anash. Hold on. Let's look at this. Ayash. Let's do it as Ayash Yahan. No, I think in that instance. So, hold on. Because I think we're still talking about like women plural, right? So those plural women, the Israelite women, need their husbands. So we're still doing husband in a plural sense because there's multiple women. Not every Israelite woman. You can have more than one woman, but not every Israelite woman is going to belong to one man, right? So I think you'd still use the plural. So let me just look and see if I type in the phrase their husbands. See if I find it. Despise their husbands, give to their husbands honor, love their husbands. Good night. All right, let's look at this one. I think in some instances it uses a different word like ba'al, which can also mean husband, but the word I want is where it uses a yash or a nash, whichever one it is. That's what I'm trying to find out. Ba'al. Yeah, this is the Ba'al one. Hold on. Is this Corinthians or is this? Yeah, Corinthians. Ezekiel. Let's look at this one. Loathe their husbands. So this Ayash. So no, her husband. Husbands plural, right? Anash Yahan. That's what I thought. I just wanted to be sure, right? So you do it as and it's in the context of that we're basically looking for. I think that it says, and thou art the sister of thy sisters which loathe their husbands. So it's like multiple women who, and unfortunately in this instance, didn't like their husbands. But we need that's the phrase we need in that context. So Nash Yahan, right? Their husbands. Okay. And that's it. So that's how you'd say that phrase. So Nashiam Yasha'alayath, Israelite women, Kawasawath, need, and Nashyahan, their husband, right? Or their husbands. Okay. If that makes sense. You know, this it's getting a little complex in some instances, but if everyone's following, we get a sense of it, right? Unless I'm mistaken and I'm just talking complete nonsense. But is everyone following along, or is anybody confused? Is there anything anybody wants to ask a question about? Do just let me know. Okay, no sweat. So everyone's following along perfectly, and we're all good. We're all, damn near Hebrew scholars. All right, Most High Christ. All right, so let's get the last one we had, 8:43. Might as well get the last one down. This is valuable. I like doing this. So when you come into this school, you must change your life. Okay, so let's look up the word for when. Now, I know when is like a question word, is mathaya, but I want to see, like, if we use in the context of when this happens, if it uses the same word, right? And when, so this is ra'ah, okay, and saw the woman. Okay, so it just there's no specific word for when in that instance. Let me look at this example. It uses kaya. Okay, so kaya can be, typically means like for or because, right? It can also mean, I guess, when in this instance. So we'll look at another example. When they were created, it came to pass when men began to multiply on the earth. Is there a word for when in this context? When it uses kaya again. Interesting. I think that could be it. When I bring a cloud on the earth. Let's look at this sense. So it's like it's future tense. So I want to see when. So that's just Ainan. Okay. Let me see here in the lexicon. If I look up when, what comes up here? As, okay, even for, from, hitherto. Okay, if not. Okay, this is a good one. Okay. I think this is one we'll use, right? So is a word where it's like it's asking a question almost, or if this is the case, right? So the phrase we're looking at is when you come into the school, you must change your life. So this is somebody, or we might be talking about somebody who's not in the school, or explaining that when you come into the school, you must change your life. If you're in the school, you have to change your life. Okay, so I think this is the word we're going to use. It's the word am, which is used as like whether this is the case, right? Or interrogative, whether, or conditional. Like if we're saying if, like if we was to say the same word and swap when for if, right? Or even uses when here, right? It could be when you come into the school, or it's like if you come into the school, you must change your life. It's saying the same thing. So we'd use am here. Now I believe where am is used in this context, I believe it's put as like ha'am, right? And let me see how it was put in the verse. I found it. No, I didn't find it in the verse. Okay, I found it from here. Hold on. If I just put and then to say you come will be atha bawa'a. Yeah, you could just do yeah, to say ha'am would be like more asking the question of like, are you? Like, is it the case? Right? So we just use the am part, right? So am, then to say you come into this school. So atha ba wa'a. Okay, comes from the word ba'a meaning to come, ba wa'a is the present tense. In fact, let me double check. What's the rules for present tense for you is just adding a wa in the between the first and second letter. If it's shawamar, if it's your sister, you'd add a ha at the end as well. But this word already has a ha. Pretty sure, right? Yeah, bawa. So that's fine. So atha bawa, and then into. So you could just do ba, right, in, and then bayah sapar, in this school, and then this would be hazah. Okay, you must. So I'm about to type the thing out. All right, so then atha. So say you. How would you say must? Let me get this word. Must. Let me just type this up. Ba bayath sapar. Where is, am I missing a word? Oh no. Okay, so yeah. If you come into the school, you, and then the word I'm looking for is must. Exact match. It's like you have to, must. There's no Hebrew word. Let me see here. It's translated. The money must needs. Must I bring thy son? It must not be done. Let me look this up. It must. Okay, Aisha. Okay. I don't think that's the context we need. It must not be done so. Thou must. I suppose it's the I mean, we could just use if we have the word for change, right? And we just make that future tense. It would be like you are going to, or you will. Suppose that I don't know if there's a specific word for must, right? Let me see in this context here. Every man must eat.
There was one that said thou must. Would that not work? Whatever word that was?
I think it just, let me see, thou. Fourth one's here. I think it's just kind of we're coming across the same thing where it just does the verb, right? Let me see. Said thou must come in. Yeah, so it's like it's just tha bawa, right? You come in, right? It kind of just the tha is just the thou, right? So we do, yeah, even like say the commandments, you do this or you do that. I don't think there's a specific word for the must part, right? When we look at Nathan, thou must give, so it really is just atha thathan, right? Which is you will give, right? You are going to give. So yeah, I think that's just the you just do the verb, right? So let's look at the verb for change, right? Or we might have to look at the word repent. Let me see. Change, overturn, turn. Hapak. Hapak is like to turn around, to convert. Kalyapa. Change course, change path, renew. All of these are good words. Change Shana, change diverse. Let's see. How do you look at the usage? Change about 3 times. I think the word we're looking for is probably that top one. Change, changing, recompense. Nah. We're looking for a verb as well. Change, second time, again. Nah, that's not the one. Diverse, alter. I don't think we're looking for this one. To change, to be altered. How many times is it used? 14, 5 times. Okay. More changed. What we need is change. I think we're really looking at that. Do we look at kalap? Kalap as a verb. Change 10 times. Renew 3 times. So could work. We have hapak. It means to turn about, or by implication to change, overturn, return, or pervert, in the context of if you're in the right path and then you turn back into your filth, right? I think this is what we're looking for. To be converted. Yeah. What if I look at the word repent? Let's see what that comes up with. Comfort, comfortable, okay, repentance, naham. We're looking at the verb. Let's look at this one. Nakam, I should say. To sigh, to breathe strongly. Nah, that's more in like a, you're sorry for yourself, or, you're sighing, you feel guilty. We looking at the hapak. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. I'm pretty sure that would be the strongest word for what we're looking for. Okay, so you must change. So it would be what? Hapak. You will turn around, right? And that pretty much fits what we're saying, right? So if we're saying you, future tense, if it's masculine, you add just tha at the beginning. If it's feminine, you add a tha at the beginning and a ya at the end. So you can make a note of that. If you're talking to a sister, you would say thahapakya. If you're talking to a brother, you would just say hapak. Okay, so hapak, and then your life would just be kayaka, right, or kayayaka. You can kind of do it either way. So let me plug this in as well. So hapak, right? You will change, and then kayaka. It puts it to me as like your life will change. So I think that's the one we're looking for, right? So thahapak or thahapakya if you're talking to a sister. Let me put that in. Thahapak, or I'll put it in brackets. You add ya at the end if you're talking to a sister, and then you put your life. So life is kaya. Let me quickly to say your life. I want to see if it does it as kayayaka. Let's see if I can quickly find this. I know we got about 5 minutes. I think this is the last thing we'll do. So we'll finish this off because it is your life, and we'll close out. So your life is kayayakam in this instance because it talks to multiple people. But yeah, that would just be kayayaka, right? The life of you. Okay, so kaya ya ka. Okay, so when or if you come into this school, you will change, or you will turn around, you will turn your life, right? You will change your life. You must change your life. Okay, so that is how you say that phrase in biblical Hebrew. All right, Most High in Christ. You got all those phrases down. Down there in the nick of time. All right, so I'll give you some time to write that down, and then we'll get ready to close out for the night with the salute. Most High in Christ. If anyone has any last minute questions or anything like that, by all means, let me know. But we're getting ready to close out. Okay. Once you've finished writing down as well, just let me know once you're done and you're good to go, and I'll close out.
Okay, sir. I'm done.
You're done? Okay. Kayla, you done as well? All right, Most High in Christ. So with that, give us a hand. You know what I'm saying? Give the class a hand. All right, Most High in Christ, another Friday. You know what I'm saying? I hope you all found it informative. Some real good phrases, some real good suggestions that we now know how to say in biblical Hebrew. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and salute out the brothers. Let me stop sharing my screen. Go to this view. All right. So ye men of Israel, I'm Madiam. All right. I'm Madiam Shabbath. I'm Madiam Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Barak Atham. Yad Yamata. All right. Sisters stand. I'm Madiam. All right. Let's give these sisters a salute. Ye men of Israel, I'm Madiam Shabbath, I'm Madiam Barak, Yahweh Shema Alatan Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shema Alatan Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Most High in Christ. Yad Yamata. Class dismissed. All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in online and in the class live. Shalom, Israel. Lord in Christ.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
Everyone west. Everyone west. Everyone west.